They always told you to tone it down. Dim the fire, shrink your voice, sit at the table with your knees tight and your dreams tighter. But you never had the stomach for small spaces or shallow masks. You weren't made to fit in their little beige boxes lined with fake smiles and brittle handshakes. You were made to laugh in echo chambers and slam doors that creaked from pretending too long. They wanted you compliant, quiet, grateful for scraps while they feasted on your silence. But you were the one dragging dynamite under the dinner table with a grin. Every time you walked into their rooms, something shifted. The air got heavier. The energy got nervous. Because deep down, they knew you weren't there to play along. You were there to remind them of everything they buried, dodged, and feared. You were the ghost of their unfinished courage, wearing chaos like a crown. And when you finally stopped performing for their comfort, when you lit the match with your own name carved into the flame, the whole foundation trembled. Because the truth, you were never lost. You were just never meant to stay where weak minds felt strong. They talk now. Oh, they whisper. Too intense, too different, too much. But that's just their way of saying we couldn't control it. They dress their fear up as critique, their jealousy as concern. But deep down, they see what you've become, a walking blueprint of what happens when someone refuses to stay trapped in someone else's blueprint. You didn't just escape their house, you torched it. And now they're left clutching smoke, wondering how the freak they counted out became the architect of their reckoning. So no, you're not here to be liked. You're not here to be understood. You're here to rattle foundations, to walk into every room like it owes you back pay in apologies and eye contact. And when the walls start sweating and the liars start twitching, you just smile, because you built this version of yourself, brick by betrayal, beam by breakdown. And now they gotta build new rooms just to hold your name. And the best part? You're not even trying anymore. That's what haunts them most. You used to crave the applause, the validation, the pathetic little pats on the back for playing by their rules. But somewhere between the heartbreak and the breakdowns, you outgrew their games. Now your silence speaks louder than their shout. Now your presence alone is a warning label with a smirk. Careful, this one remembers everything. They scramble to rewrite the past, like you didn't keep the raw footage. Like you weren't wide awake when they locked the door and tossed the key. Funny thing is, you learned how to pick the lock with nothing but rage and resolve. And now, here they are, peeking through the cracks, watching you build cathedrals out of ashes they prayed would bury you. You didn't just survive the fire, you redesigned it, turned it into mood lighting. They see you now, unbothered, unreadable, undeniable, and it fries their circuits. Because the same person they tried to erase is now the blueprint everyone's copying with trembling hands. And you're not bitter, that's the twist. No revenge speeches, no grand finale, just that slow, eerie smile like, yeah, I saw everything, and I stayed quiet on purpose. You're not knocking on doors anymore. You are the door, the locked one, the heavy one, the one that creaks when opened and slams when disrespected. And all those rooms that tried to contain you, they're condemned now, abandoned. Because once you leave a place authentically, nothing grows there again. Not without your fire. You don't walk in to be invited anymore. You own the entrance. You are the alarm. You are the spark. And every room you step into now, they better pray it doesn't combust. Because when you show up, it's not just you walking through that door. It's the storm you survived, the monsters you tamed, the betrayals you buried, and the silence you weaponized. You are the unfinished sentence in their nightmares, the what if that keeps them staring at ceilings. You're not a person to them anymore. You're a consequence with a pulse and a permanent grin. They thought they could shame you into shrinking, but every jab, every backhanded compliment, every cold shoulder just turned into bricks in your foundation. They thought silence would make you disappear, but you learned how to echo, loud, long, and laced with venom. You became fluent in the language of being underestimated. Now your every move is a foreign dialect they're scrambling to decode. And here's the beauty of it all. You're still evolving, still mutating into versions of yourself that make your past look like a warm-up. You're not bitter, you're refined, sharpened by fire, smoothed by pain, and now you laugh like a villain in a church, because you know you don't need to explain yourself to the crowd you outgrew. Let them keep building rooms for control, for comfort, for ego. You're out here blueprinting cathedrals of chaos, places where truth bleeds, power laughs, and the ghosts of your old self nod in approval. And the next room you walk into, you're not asking if you belong. You're deciding who gets to stay. And the criteria? Oh, it's not kindness. It's not loyalty. It's not even history. It's who the hell had your name in their mouth when the wolves came howling. Who stood ugly for you. Not polite, not performative, but raw, reckless, risk everything real. You remember who reached out when touching you meant bleeding too. And you remember who tiptoed away when the room caught fire and pretended they didn't see the smoke. See, they talk a lot about forgiveness, like it's free, like you owe them a clean slate after they used yours for target practice. But your forgiveness isn't a gift, it's a currency, and only the ones who bled honest ever earned a dime. The rest, they can keep their crocodile tears and revised memories. You're not interested in rehearsed apologies. You want the shaky voice, the eye contact, the I know what I did kind of reckoning. And even then, you still might not let them back in. Because this version of you doesn't just walk into rooms, it changes the temperature. Turns cozy little lies into sweat-soaked truths. No more shrinking, no more explaining, no more waiting for people to clap for your resurrection when they were front row for your crucifixion. Now, you walk in like a storm wearing a crown. And if the room can't handle the thunder, let it collapse. Oh, now we're cooking. You don't even knock anymore. You kick the damn door off the hinges and walk in like, who choked when I wasn't supposed to survive? And suddenly, everyone in the room's looking at their shoes like the floor got interesting. Funny how quiet it gets when the walking consequence shows up, huh? You ain't even mad, just mildly entertained, watching the same folks who threw shade now squinting under your spotlight like vampires at brunch. They used to laugh when you cried. Now they sweating when you smirk. Tables turned. Nah, you flipped the whole room, chairs included, and dared anybody to sit back down. You don't speak revenge, baby. You drip it. One cold look at a time. You're the punchline now, but not in the way they hoped. You're the kind that makes them laugh and then choke. See, they thought you'd come back soft, maybe polite, forgiving. Nah, you came back with receipts, fire, and a playlist. And every breath you take is a remix of I Remember Everything, babe. You're not out for closure. You are the damn door slam. And if they didn't stand for you when it got ugly, congrats. They just made your blacklist, permanent ink, no parole. What's even better, you ain't even doing the most. You're just existing, and it's ruining their peace. You out here sipping your water, minding your business, and they're in the group chat like something about them feels different. Yeah, it's called not giving a damn anymore, sweetheart. That's what it feels like. You don't come to prove a point anymore. You are the point, period, bold, underlined. And if the room can't handle your realness, cool, burn the room. Roast marshmallows on the ashes. And let's be very clear, this ain't a comeback. This is a plot twist. You didn't dust yourself off. You stood up laughing, covered in dirt, dragging their lives like a designer coat. And now, you're the reason people clear their search history and lock their phones when you walk by. You became that level of unforgettable, not because you begged for it, but because they fed you to the wolves, and you came back rocking a fur coat and a middle finger. You ever notice how the ones who swore they'd always be real got real quiet when your name came up? Hilarious. Now they out here pretending they were praying for you the whole time, Like you can't smell the bullshit through the Wi-Fi. Nah, you remember. Every fake cheer, every phony check-in, every time they left you out like you weren't built from the same flames they claim to admire now. But here's the punchline. You're not even bitter. You're bulletproof with a sense of humor. You laugh different now, like someone who's seen behind the curtain and decided to set it on fire. You love loud, you trust slow, and you never sit with people who had front row seats to your pain, but acted like it was just intermission. And don't worry, you're not out for revenge. You upgraded your appetite. Now you crave peace so loud it echoes. Now you shine so hard it makes them squint, even when they act like they ain't looking. You're the whole damn warning label now. Caution may explode upon betrayal. Handle with honesty or not at all. You don't enter a room, you interrupt the narrative. And if they ain't ready, good. Let them trip over your glow on the way out. You don't need a spotlight anymore. The chaos follows you like a loyal pet. And the best part, you feed it with petty, real classy petty. The kind that smiles in silence while they unravel trying to figure out if you remember what they did. Newsflash, you do. You just arch your eyebrow, sip your drink, and let them sweat like they're in a courtroom with God as the judge and karma reading their texts out loud. Because see, they thought you were gonna play nice. Be the bigger person. Forgive, forget, fold. But you came back flavored, seasoned in betrayal, garnished in rage, and marinated in try me again and see. You're not healed, baby. You're armed. And the best part, you wear it well. You walk like vengeance in velvet. You smile like you know too much, 'cause you do. Now folks try to spin the story. I always believed in you. No, sweetheart, you believed in my downfall. And now that I refuse to stay buried, you want to rewrite history like I won't call out the footnotes. I'm not a chapter in your story. I'm the damn plot twist that burned the book deal. You're not angry. You're enlightened with a grudge. But you move smart. You don't clap back. You clap in silence and let the echo do the damage. You don't tell your side. You let them panic, trying to guess how much you know. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. It's you now. So the next time someone asks, what happened to the old you? Tell them they left me in a burning house and I came back as the fire. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell the band, baby. Now you don't knock when you enter anymore. You kick the door off the hinges, light a cigarette with the sparks, and say, who's still breathing in here? You're not here to play house with traitors. You're here to haunt their comfort zones. You turned survival into a sport, and now you're winning trophies in their nightmares. Every silent look you give now feels like a damn cross-examination. Every step you take sounds like thunder on the bones of every fake I got your back. You were the loyalty test, and they flunked with flying colors. They fumbled the realest one they ever had, and now they want closure. No, baby, this is exposure. You don't burn bridges anymore. You blow them up, do a little dance in the rubble, and set up toll booths just to charge them when they try to crawl back. And your laugh? It's a little darker now. Got that unbothered, I already buried the old me and threw flowers on the grave kind of laugh. It's got notes of try me again and undertones of I already know your secrets. It's not evil, it's earned, because the old you would have sent paragraphs. This version just grins and lets the silence slap them across the face. See, when they thought they could use you, control you, shut you up, they forgot one thing. You watched them betray you and didn't flinch. You heard the lies and played dumb, and now you're cashing every lesson like it's lotto winnings and treating their regret like background music while you walk in slow-mo through scenes you weren't even supposed to survive. You're not back. You're unleashed. And now the room changes temperature when you walk in, not because you're angry. Nah, that would have been a gift. You're colder, precision cold. That smile first, strike later kind of cold. You shake hands with ghosts and sip tea, while folks try to figure out if you still remember what they did under the rug they swore you'd never lift. Spoiler alert, you ripped the whole carpet up, repainted the floor, and built a throne where their secrets used to hide. They didn't realize you were paying attention. Every eye roll, every whisper, every little betrayal they thought wouldn't sting. But you were clocking it, not to clap back, but to build your case. And now, baby, you've got receipts, you've got patience, and you've got the unstoppable energy of someone who ain't got nothing to lose but respect for the wrong ones. You're not vengeful, you're historical. You're the documentary they'll never release because it exposes too many snakes in high definition. You walk like karma in designer boots and talk like someone who's been to hell and gave it interior design tips. They thought they were writing your ending, but you were busy editing the script and casting them as background noise. And what's wild, you don't even raise your voice anymore. You raise eyebrows, make them question their own motives just by breathing the same air. You don't even lift a finger. They crumble off the weight of their own guilt. You don't hit back. You hit nerves. So now, when they whisper about how you switched up, you laugh. Because no one ever complains when a dead star explodes. They just watch the light show and whisper, damn. You didn't switch up. You finally switched on. And now you got them studying your silence like it's a sacred text. Like if they squint hard enough, they might find forgiveness between your smirks and middle fingers. But nah, ain't no divine pardon here, sweetheart. Just poetic justice with a side of petty. You used to beg people to be real. Now you let them talk and watch the lies trip over themselves in surround sound. They used to laugh behind your back. Now they replay your laugh in their head like a crime scene they can't solve. You became the plot twist they never recovered from. You didn't just flip the script. You burned it, rewrote it in blood, and sold tickets to the comeback tour. And when they ask who the villain is in your story, you sip your drink, tilt your head, and say, depends who's telling it. Because here's the twist no one saw coming. You stopped explaining yourself. You let the confusion marinate. Let them stew in that awkward silence that says, oh, they know, and you do. You know what they did. You know who cracked first. You know who wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds in that room where you stood 10 toes, bleeding but unbothered. And now you laugh louder, sleep better, walk meaner. You don't wait for tables. You build your own and make the chairs uncomfortable. You don't hold grudges. You let them ferment. Turn betrayal into fine wine and sip it at celebrations they'll never be invited to. Because at the end of the day, you ain't bitter, you're seasoned. You ain't broken, you're reconstructed, and you're not alone. You're just too fucking real for their reruns. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell the Batman I said hello. Subscribe to my Substack newsletter.